they triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimonies. My name's Austin. I'm 22, and I live in Chelan. To make most of the story make sense, I was born and raised in southeastern Idaho, Pocatello, Idaho, if you're familiar with the area. Was raised Mormon. I was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I attended church every Sunday. I went to all the mutual gathering, or not the mutual, all the gatherings, stake centers, all the stuff. In 8th grade, I was introduced to pornography and nudity for the first time. And I never really saw an end to it until December of 2023. I was addicted to pornography from that day on, and it kind of just overtook my life all throughout high school, all throughout, 8th grade year, I guess, for middle school, and throughout college. I hid that away. To my knowledge, no one ever knew about it. It was something I kept in my own little personal closet, and something that I went to when things were going hard, when I was stressed, when I was bored. Whatever it was, porn was my outlet, nothing else. My senior year, I had committed to go play baseball, and things had kind of gotten a little hard, and I just kind of went on my own little rebellion tour, as you can call it, I guess. One of those nights, I was hanging out with some friends, some baseball teammates, and went and got drunk and high for the first time my senior year. At this time, I think it was shortly after, around this time, I had started picking up vaping, and was shortly hooked on vaping shortly thereafter. Didn't really ever drink or smoke much in high school from that point on. Here and there, I think, was smoking, but never really drank. So freshman year comes along for college. I had committed to go play at Treasure Valley Community College out in Oregon, right on the border of Oregon and Idaho. And I quickly wanted to join the life of, being looked up to, I guess, to some of my peers, or being a part of them, being a part of that group. And I was a part of the partying scene, as you can call it. We partied a lot my freshman year, and it seemed like it was every Friday or Saturday night. We were over at the baseball house, getting drunk and just having parties. I drank a lot my freshman year. I blacked out a handful of times. I got high a lot of times, and still carrying all the baggage that I've carried on throughout high school, pornography addiction and smoking nicotine. That never left me. I had met someone that December, and she had started planting a lot of seeds about who Jesus was, who he actually was, not just some false Jesus, someone who's a church. She started telling me who he is, not what Christianity is, but what Jesus is and what God is and what he did for us. And at this time, I wasn't really receptive to hearing about any of that. I was kind of pushing it off to the side. I thought it was really awkward, kind of just would change conversations really quick. I got really good at it because those seeds got planted a lot. So freshman year ends up coming to an end. And I had went back home to Pocatello and was still hanging around those same friends. And I was getting high a lot more often. I was hanging out with those people. We were older. We kind of knew where to get it, I guess, or I knew people that knew how to get it or had it. So we'd get high a lot more often, drink here and there. And was still playing baseball, working, everything, pornography. Gosh, it never left. So I'm going to sound like a broken record when I keep bringing that up. But nothing really happened that summer. Was just kind of working really hard for baseball, I guess. I didn't really attend most of the church gatherings. I was always act like I was sick, for example, or too busy. Kind of getting a little bit of arguments with my mom and dad about it all. Sophomore year hits, and I roll out to school. And right at the very beginning of sophomore year, I started dating a girl, the same girl from freshman year, who was planting all those seeds in my life. And I hid everything. I hid everything from everyone, and we dated for all of sophomore year. Throughout sophomore year, I didn't party as much. I think that's more or less because the baseball team didn't really party much. There's a lot more, I guess, smokers to drinkers ratio, so wasn't big parties. It was more small hangouts at someone's house around a campfire getting high. So I smoked a lot more my sophomore year. Sophomore year kind of felt a whole lot different than freshman year. I felt like I was kind of on my own. I felt like the only people that I really ever had was my girlfriend at the time and some of her friends. I felt like those were my people, the people I'd hang out with a lot. And I guess I was for the good at the very end of it, but at the time it felt trapped. I felt trapped. I felt like I didn't have any friends. I felt alone. I was just sad, overwhelmed with baseball. There was so much on the plate. I wanted to play so well. I wanted to make my coach proud, my old coaches proud, family proud, all these things. I just got overwhelmed and would really started to lean into all of my addictions more as a release. Sophomore year ends up ending, and right after baseball had ended, I think it ended in the middle of May, and we didn't graduate until the middle of June, first week of June. And I started smoking a lot more. Seemed like it was an everyday basis. I'd go over to someone's house and we'd get high together and just laugh about the times of baseball, that we're going to miss each other, all this stuff. And I ended up moving out here to Chelan, and picked up a job working at a boat and jet skis rentals place. And shortly thereafter, I ended up finding a cart in one of the boats, or cart, I should say, weed, kind of like a little disposable weed cartridge, if you guys aren't familiar. And I had tried to quit all that before I came here, because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to bring this to Chelan. I had threw my vape into the sink, flushed it down the toilet, all the stuff while I was back in college. That shortly came back to light once I moved to Chelan. When I came to Chelan, I felt like I was more alone. I felt like the only person I knew, the only person I knew was my girlfriend and 2 other friends that came with us from college. And it was kind of weird because we worked on different schedules, so I never really saw any of my friends. I had time to hang out with any of them. So I truly felt alone. My whole community was back in my hometown. I'm wondering, why did I come here? This is horrible. There's no fun in it. I thought it was going to be a lot more fun. There's nothing here for me. Shortly thereafter, kind of into the summer, me and the girlfriend had ended up breaking up, and I was devastated. I'm not much of a crier. I think before this, I had ended up, the first time I cried in a long time was when my dog had ended up dying. I think I cried for three-ish days. I cried a lot. I was devastated because I was devastated more of the fact that I was now officially alone. I had no one. So that was hard. I at this time I really leaned into all of my addictions. I was watching porn a lot more. I was getting high a lot more. I was vaping a lot more. Vaping really kind of stayed the same, I guess. When you vape, you're vaping all day long. Ended up moving out and moved in with my boss, and it was good. It was a new change of scenery. Was still working for him, and the only thing that was weird about it all is that the reason why I thought I wanted to stay or thought I needed to stay was for I had made a commitment to working with them throughout the summer, and I was going to uphold that. I wasn't going to leave them high and dry. They had done a lot of great things for me, giving me hours so I can make money. I was broke when I moved here. I hate to admit it. I think I had like $30 to my name after I filled up my car with gas. I was officially broke. And so they helped me out a lot. So I ended up moving in with him. The funny thing is, I think I said 2 sentences to him the whole time that I was working with him before I moved in. So looking back at it now, God kind of told him to say yes. I don't know why he said yes at the moment. I'm like, holy cow, thanks, dude. This is awesome. Thinking I was only going to live with him for like 3 weeks to a month. As time started to roll on, I was obviously more alone, but I didn't really feel like it because my addictions were kind of there. My addictions were kind of like my friends, I guess, if you want to call it that way. They were keeping me all together. Till shortly, I think it was into October, is when I kind of had like a breakdown. I had an anxiety, kind of like an anxiety attack, and I don't know why it ended up happening or what was going on, but I knew that it was all the addictions that I had that was kind of there, and I really came to a quick notice of what my life was going to be like if I didn't find something or change something around. At this time, I had went to a church out in Wenatchee, And it's funny, you see all these memes or these reels on Instagram. It's like, oh, can't wait to go into church today. And then they walk out like all sad or whatever. It's like, God told the pastor my business. That happened to me the first day that I went to church. I'm like, what the heck? And that really kind of planted a massive seed in my heart, because I had all these previous seeds in my heart of knowing kind of like who Jesus was. Like I had an idea. I had a small idea of him. I didn't have the big picture, but I was interested at this point. I'm like I kind of knew that there was something there for me. Didn't know what it was, but I was interested, like I said. Shortly thereafter, I still actually held on to all of these for a while, for 2 months actually, but I came back home from work. This is October, we were just winding down to the final days of the jet ski business. I came home from work, it was probably around 6 o'clock or so, and was making myself some beef stroganoff. If anyone knows me from around that time, I had beef stroganoff every night. And at that time it was Hamburger Helper, and it tastes horrible as leftovers, so I'd buy about 10 boxes of Hamburger Helper. Not important, but I was having Hamburger Helper. I got high after work because I'm like, sweet, I can get off work, I can relax, which is funny because I was probably high while I was at work. I was a wake and bake stoner at this time. And I was high just cooking dinner, and I got a phone call, and I'm like, what is this all about? And I answer the phone, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, oh, just cooking dinner, hanging out at the house. And they're like, okay, sweet, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go to youth group. I'm like, what? Like, what's this whole youth group business? Like, this doesn't sound fun at all. They ended up picking me up, driving me over to my now youth group. We meet every Wednesday. It's been a massive blessing in my life. We go there. I was high, but I was like, these are kind of some cool people around here, and it's a great way to meet friends. So I kept on going week after week, starting to meet new people and get connected. This had all kind of gone on. I was going to church, doing all these things. I was kind of setting these limitations to me, I guess. It was like I'd get home from work, I would try to not smoke weed all day long, and then when I get home, I'd have to read a chapter of the Bible or a book or whatever, make dinner. I'd have to put a chore in front of it for the incentive of getting high. Like I did it, but it didn't really help because I was still getting high. And I was trying really hard at around this time, from November till December, trying really hard to quit all of my addictions: pornography, vaping, smoking, drinking, all of that stuff. I was trying really hard. I think I probably tried about 50 times in all 4 of those areas to quitting in a month. And it was hard. I spent a lot of money, because you throw something that costs $20 away every day, you lose money pretty quick. So I just kept on trying, and I didn't know why it wasn't working until I kind of remembered one of the seeds from way back when, of the only way that you will never be able to change on your own. If you really want true change, you have to surrender your life to Jesus, and you have to give it up. You have to let him take control of it, and just have him move within it. And so on December 22nd of 2023, I had just gotten a job shortly before this, and didn't have enough time to get work off to go home and visit family for Christmas. So I was planning on staying in Chelan for Christmas. Still didn't really have any friends. I knew people, acquaintances, if you will. The only person I was really kind of close to was my roommate. And I got to backtrack just a little bit. The cool thing about it all is that my roommate actually kind of had the same story as me, and he helped me a lot throughout this journey of realizing that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So that kind of helped me find my way to it all. So get back on track here. December 22nd of 2023, couldn't go home for Christmas, and I was kind of overwhelmed with sadness and a little bit of anxiety again. It's a new time that I'm alone. I'm like, what the heck am I going to do here for 3 days? I'm going to experience some of the happiest times that you should have in a year, alone, sad, sitting on my couch, trying to quit all these addictions. So I went up to my room shortly after my roommate had left, and I got down on my knees. I never really prayed on my knees before. It was kind of a weird thing. So I got down on my knees, and I basically said to God, I give you my life. I surrender it. It's yours. Use it as you may. I don't care what it is. If you have to move me back to Idaho, if you need me to stay here, if I need to go to New York, use me. use my life, take it over. God, if I can't get through this week, if I don't have someone to be around, I guess, through this week, I'm going to get back on this, and I don't know if I'm going to have the strength to start again, to start the quitting stage. So right after that prayer, I drove to the old bridge in Chelan. I threw my vape, my weed cart over the bridge. Sorry, Lake Chelan, I kind of littered in your lake. I'm sorry. That was the only bright idea I had that I couldn't go back and get it to. I couldn't throw it in the garbage. I could go back and get it. So I threw it away in the lake. 30 minutes later, after I had said that prayer, and I still, I hadn't showered, cleaned myself up, I'm still, messy. I can just still, remember the feeling of having tears on my face, tasting the salt and all the stuff. And I had answered a phone call, and it was from Marcia Mullet. A massive blessing in my life, she is. She's the leader of that youth group. Someone I had said a handful of words to, she knew me from other people in the town. I never really knew her. I knew that she was the leader of the small group that I was going to. I had no idea that she had my phone number. So I'd answer the phone, and it was unknown. I answer it. I'm like, hello? She's like, hey, is this Austin? I'm like, yeah, this is him. She's like, hey, I know that you're going to be in town for the week for Christmas and you can't go. Would you like to come to Pateros and come to some family friends of mine celebrate Christmas? We'll go out there, we'll have dinner, we'll hang out, maybe we'll go over to someone else's house and play some games afterwards. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, there's no way that God had just answered this prayer in 30 minutes. There's no possible chance. So in my bright head, I said no. No, I'm okay. I don't want to interrupt, but thank you for the offer. I really appreciate it. This means a lot. She's like, all right, sounds good. And a day went by, and I'm like, what am I doing saying no to a blessing from God? I called her back up or texted her. I can't remember what it was. I asked, hey, is that offer still on the table? And she said, yes, of course it is. Ended up going with her, really got to know her a lot. Me and her are best friends now. And throughout all of this time, from then on, I had given my life to Jesus. I was doing whatever he needed me to do. I was really getting into the Word. I didn't know about this little Passion Conference thing. It's a huge Christian gathering. So the tickets were for sale a lot earlier than I had known about it. And I'm like, shoot, I wish I would have known about this earlier so I could go. So I ended up staying at the house and was watching all of the sermons and talks and worship. And my goodness, it was overwhelming from my house all the way across the country, multiple states away. It was insane. And at this time, I was kind of giving anything I could to God. God lead me in my work area. I was working with a lot of people that really didn't have much of a faith, and it felt weird to be in that area, listening to things I didn't want to listen to and actually stand up for my faith. I had prayed to God, please bless me with a friend group that is good peers. I'd had multiple friend groups growing up, but none of them were not offensive. They are great people, awesome people, but they weren't leading me in a direction that I needed to go. And I was praying to God bless me with a group of friends that would lead me to where you need me to be, lead me in a way that will impact my life and make me into a better person, a better Christian, someone that can impact the kingdom of God. And by golly, did he answer that prayer. I've got a friend group of probably, I think it's 12 to 15 people. I go to a youth group that has 30 people in it. I'm a middle school boys leader. Holy cow, he's impacted my life in an astonishing way. So sermon talks are going on, and I'm at the gym. I'm at the gym lifting, listening to one of these sermon talks, and it's from Jonathan Padluka. You guys probably know him. He's a really famous pastor. The guy is awesome. I love him. I love listening to his podcast, all this stuff. And in this talk, I was battling at this time of telling my parents. I didn't want to disappoint them by saying that I was a Christian and not a Mormon anymore. I didn't want to disappoint them. All I wanted was to make them proud, and for them just to be proud of me, I guess. I didn't want to tell them because I didn't know how I was going to go. And in that talk, he had kind of was going over the fact of there's one way to heaven, and it's through Jesus. It's through the Lord and Savior of our lives, the guy who was nailed to the cross and bled for my sins, died for my sins. And he's the guy that opens up the doors for us to get into heaven. And so immediately after that, I'd called my parents and told them about it, and it went a whole lot better than I thought. I'm like, holy cow, I'm overestimating the power that God has, or underestimating the power that God has to work in some of these areas. Summer goes on. My parents know that I'm a Christian now. I am attending youth group all the time, going to church every Sunday, all this stuff. And I decided to make the commitment to physically commit my life to Jesus. I don't know how to word it really, but I decided to get baptized on September 14th of 2024, which was this last fall. It was awesome. It was great. I had my roommate do it for me at the time. He was a huge part of my journey, him and Marcia. Those two saved my life. Marcia saved my life the night that she called me because I had had suicidal thoughts around that time. Connor saved my life in helping me come to knowing who Jesus is. He impacted me a lot. He challenged me to read the New Testament in 90 days, and I did it, and I had a fire burning within me that couldn't be withheld. Like Jesus says, why would you put a shade over a lamp on a lamppost when you can light the whole room? So he's the one that baptized me. I had all my friends there. It was great, just to have all the support to be able to do it. Shortly, a couple months later in November, I had gotten in touch. I didn't get in touch with him. He got in touch with me. Graham Monteleone. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your last name right. It's Italian. Sorry. He had gotten in touch with me, and we went and got coffee, and he had asked me if I kind of wanted to be a middle school boys leader, and I was kind of skeptical at the time. I wanted to, but I didn't know if I had what it took since I was fresh in my faith a year in at this moment. But I said, yeah, why not? Sure. And it's been a massive blessing in my life. I didn't think it'd be a blessing in my life. I thought it'd be more of a blessing in theirs. But it's been a blessing in my life because I'm around other people my age that have the same faith in the other leaders. I get to hear more about him. I get to share to him. It's like what your math teacher tells you in elementary school. It's like if you really want to know something, you teach something. And it's been awesome. Now it's present day. I continue to surrender my life to Jesus. There's true freedom in Jesus. I thought when I was doing all these things, pornography, vaping, smoking weed, drinking, I thought that was freedom. I thought that not sinning was like chains around me. I'm like, I can't do anything that I want to do or anything that anyone else is wanting to do. I kept on trying to put these things into a Jesus-shaped hole into my heart to make me feel whole and to make me feel loved and appreciated and all these things. And it never came until I accepted Jesus and turned to Jesus into my life and gave him that spot. If any of you guys are going through anything similar to this, don't feel like you have to go find the outlet. You just have to turn. Jesus is there. He's sitting right behind you. He's sitting right off to the right. He's got a table set before you, ready for you to come to him in open arms. All you got to do is just turn to him and surrender your life to him. Know that Jesus has true freedom, that's the way to get to heaven, and that's where we want to be. We don't want to be doing what we're doing here on earth and just living the earthly life. And that is my story.